Live from WROC Channel 8, this is Eyewitness News with Jerry Fiore, meteorologist Glenn Richards, and Dryol Joyner on sport. The team to watch. This is Eyewitness News.
And a very pleasant good evening to you, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jerry Fiore. Allied commanders continue to show optimism tonight about how Operation Desert Storm is going. Earlier today, however, they did confirm not all missions are being accomplished without a price, sometimes due to human error. With the latest on the Gulf situation now, we check in with CBS correspondent Connie Chung.
The U.S. military confirmed today that 7 American Marines were killed by friendly fire near the Saudi border with Kuwait. Major General Robert Johnson, Chief of Staff of the U.S. Command in Saudi Arabia, said the Marines encountered Iraqi forces and were hit by a missile in a clash on Tuesday.
That one of the LAVs, which is the light armored vehicle the Marines have, was in fact killed by friendly fire.
The U.S. military also disclosed today that an American Air Force B-52 bomber crashed in the Indian Ocean while returning from a mission in Iraq. 3 of its 6-member crew are missing. The other 3 were rescued. The military says there's no indication the crash late yesterday was the result of enemy fire. In the Saudi capital of Riyadh, residents surveyed damage from debris that fell last night after a Patriot missile knocked out a Scud. 29 people were slightly hurt. Meantime, the Iraqi government released new pictures of purported damage from Allied bombs in Baghdad. U.S. peace activist Rancy Clark arrived in Baghdad today on a so-called peace mission. He's expected to meet with Saddam Hussein. And the French are pointing with pride to their laser-guided missile. The missile attacked an arms dump near Kuwait City with spectacular results. Unfortunately, say the French, they also sold the missile to Iraq before the war started. Connie Chung, CBS News, New York.
Meanwhile, supporters of the war in the Persian Gulf had their say today in Washington.
USA! 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 USA!
This scene was in contrast to the past 2 weekends in the nation's capital when anti-war protesters marched. This Sunday, thousands of marchers from all over the country said it is time for the rest of America to speak up. Many expressed anger at those who have demonstrated for peace over the past few weeks, saying the troops in Saudi Arabia need the support of all Americans everywhere. Other developments now from the Persian Gulf this evening. The Israeli government says it is developing plans now to retaliate against Iraq. However, this same report indicates, for now at least, Israel will continue its posture of restraint. British satellite television reporting a U.S. Marine helicopter has gone down in the Persian Gulf, killing all 4 aboard. However, it does not appear to be combat-related. And the State Department is urging all U.S. citizens to leave Jordan as soon as possible. The travel advisory cites increased tensions from the Persian Gulf War. With Jews once again victims of aggression, the lessons of the Holocaust take on renewed importance. Here at home today, the Jewish community paid tribute to a courageous Dutch couple now living in the Rochester area. The Luberts were ones that rescued countless Jews and American pilots during World War II. Eyewitness News reporter Robin Taylor has their story.
It was standing room only in the sanctuary of Temple Brith Kodesh for the ceremony honoring Taki and Emmy Luberts. During World War II, the Dutch couple lived in a small village in the north of Holland, where, as part of the underground, they risked their own lives and those of their 9 children, housing Jews and American pilots.
People tell us now, how could you do it with so many of your own kids in the house? And at that time, we didn't realize it probably. It had to be done.
We are Christians, and we thought that we were in God's will to help the people. And so we did, and we got the strength for it, and we came through it.
After the war, the Luberts settled in Rochester, but this is the first time their story has been told. It has great meaning to people such as Bernard Schuster, who suffered at the hands of the Nazis. He too was helped by a kind woman who, like the Luberts, risked so much.
Thanks to Mrs. Decker, I survived. And for the past many years, I've been active in this community, and it's on behalf of this community that I'm here to honor the Luberts, who, like Mrs. Decker, only more so, helped so many.
The Luperts are modest people who simply did what they felt they had to do. But it's obvious from the size of this gathering that what they did means so much. Robin Taylor, Eyewitness News in Rochester.
And in other news, a two-alarm fire kept Rochester firefighters very busy late this afternoon. An explosion at this house on the corner of Villa and Delmar Streets on the city's west side sent one woman to Strong Memorial Hospital with second-degree burns. She is listed in satisfactory condition tonight. It took crews over an hour to bring the blaze under control. RG&E was called to investigate. A gas stove may have been one of the origins of that blast. The Red Cross, meanwhile, providing assistance for the Holmes family. And the investigation continues into yesterday's late-night shooting that resulted in the death of a local teen. 19-year-old Byron D. Alston of 21 Pardee Street died a little after 11 o'clock last night at Genesee Hospital. This followed the shooting that occurred at 827 North Goodman Street. So far, police have made no arrests. They do say the shooting took place out in the street. And emergency crews are still working tonight to identify bodies from Friday night's fiery runway crash at Los Angeles International Airport. 8 more bodies were pulled from the wreckage today, bringing to 14 the number recovered so far. Federal investigators, without pointing a finger of blame, say an air traffic controller sent a 737 U.S. Air jetliner and a small commuter plane on the same runway. Officials now say at least 32 people were killed. And still more news to come this evening. Please stay with us. First, let's sneak a peek at tomorrow morning's weather as we start a brand new week. Here's meteorologist Glenn Richards in our Weather Center. Glenn?
Thank you, Jerry. This afternoon we saw a lot of sunshine, very mild temperatures, record-breaking heat. I'll tell you just how warm we did get this afternoon. But for tomorrow, looks like more of the same. However, just a few clouds working their way in. You can see those clouds now building across Ohio and the Wolverine state of Michigan. Looks like some of those clouds moving in tomorrow, but also still some mild weather. I'll give you the outlook for this upcoming week in weather in just a little bit.
Thank you. Coming up next on Eyewitness News, we're going to preview a 3-part special report. Being a parent these days in many cases means saying me, myself, and I. We'll take a look at how single parents are coping. All that in a moment.
We're out to convince you the name Ruby Gordon means more furniture value. This week only, to reduce inventory, we're cutting the market value price of home furnishings in half. At Ruby Gordon, select all the furniture you need and we'll give it to you for 1/2 off. Any way you look at it, it's one great deal. Ruby Gordon is cutting furniture prices in half, so you'll think twice about shopping anywhere but Ruby Gordon in Greece and Henrietta.
1991 Buick Skylark 2-door coupe, manufacturer's suggested retail price $11,608. Dome Buick price $9,487. 1991 Buick LeSabre, manufacturer's suggested retail price $19,788. Dome Buick's low price $16,746. 1991 Park Avenue, manufacturer's suggested retail price $25,629. Dome Buick spectacular price $22,621. Special deals from a very special dealership, Dome Buick.
This week on an Eyewitness News Close-Up.
I'm Tina Dunbar. Half of all marriages now end in divorce, and that means both fathers and mothers have to deal with the reality of single parenthood. And as the family structure is now split in half, it's altering the relationship between them and their children, both emotionally and physically. Join me as I talk with single parents and their children in Me, Myself, and the Kids.
Starting Monday on Eyewitness News at 6.
Less than a year ago, she broke her back in a bus accident and nearly died. But now Gloria Estefan's got a new album and is about to tour the world. On the next Entertainment Tonight, join Mary Hart for an exclusive profile on Gloria's amazing recovery and the dramatic changes caused by the accident.
There's still that little fear inside, you know, about how's it going to be? Will it be like it was?
Gloria Estefan's incredible comeback exclusively on Entertainment Tonight.
Monday at 5:30 on Channel 8.
Eyewitness News, brought to you by Ontario Honda.
What is the status of the American family? Well, many experts say it is crumbling now because of high divorce rates and the effects of single parenting. For the next 3 days, Eyewitness News will air a series of special reports called Me, Myself, and the Kids. Eyewitness News reporter Tina Dunbar now has this special preview.
Hey, enough, all right? What are you doing?
The changing face of the American family. It's affected by divorce, one of the most common legal actions altering families and the relationships between parents and children. Nearly half of all marriages now end in divorce.
Can't, I tried. I swear.
Joanna, please, now, I'm sorry.
It can be a traumatic experience for any couple, but when children are involved, the emotional trauma can become overwhelming.
I panicked. I owned a house in Greece. I lost that. We lived there for 16 years. My kids are used to the suburbs. Now we're in the city. It's quite a bit of difference school-wise, neighborhood-wise. It's a big change.
This woman is on the road to recovery. She's one of thousands of men and women in Monroe County who are dealing with the aftermath of divorce and coping with the demands of single parenting. They are managing their children, their careers, their homes, finances, and everything else alone.
Before we eat, we bow our heads. We thank the Lord for daily bread. Amen.
Most adults and children of these broken homes face unique and challenging circumstances.
I think society needs to know that there's more men out there who really are there for their kids. I mean, who are trying harder, who are there, who are taking care of their kids.
We see it reflected in the movie industry, commercials, and even network programming. Men are no longer going through the trials of divorce without their children. Fathers are fighting for their rights. They're demanding more than just visitation. They want legal custody. And how do children feel about these families divided? And what is the impact of divorce, custody battles, and single parenting?
Our family's better off just being separated because, well, my parents didn't really get along, so now it's easier for them.
Starting this week, Eyewitness News will take a look at the faces of divorce and single parenting in Me, Myself, and the Kids. We'll look at the future it holds for our families and our children. Tina Dunbar, Eyewitness News, Rochester.
Well, meantime, there are many families here in our area who indeed are temporarily being run by single parents. These, though, are the families of troops now serving in the Middle East. Well, one local business did its part to help them out today. The Grease and Go Oil Change Center on East Henrietta donated 100% of its sales to support these families. The funds, close to $2,000, will be channeled through the Rochester Monroe County American Red Cross. The business's owner explained where all this money will go.
The money is going to be channeled through the Red Cross, and it's going to go toward helping the soldiers' families locally for financial emergencies and to help the soldiers themselves if they when they come back.
Employees volunteered their time for today's fundraiser. Stay with us. Straight ahead on Eyewitness News, meteorologist Glenn Richards joins us with your Monday forecast. And then a little later on, students search for a career.
Ontario Honda.
Home of the no-charge lifetime lube oil and filter change. Ontario Honda, 6 miles south of the Thruway in Canandaigua.
Each day you take the same route to the same job, to sit in the same chair, to do the same task. Shouldn't one thing in your day be special? We agree. Presenting our gorgeous breakfast specials from Perkins Family Restaurants. Each prepared fresh and delicious and starting at the absurdly low price of only $1.99. And with a price that low, this is one routine you won't mind repeating.
You've always trusted Woolite to care for your sweaters. Wouldn't you love to get that same Woolite care for your rugs and for your chairs? Well, try Woolite Deep Cleaning Rug Cleaner and Woolite Upholstery Cleaner. Trust Woolite Care for rugs and chairs.
I don't just dust my furniture. I give my wood the royal treatment. With Old English oil. It seals in wood's moisture to help prevent drying and cracking. Give your wood the royal treatment with Old English.
It's your weekend to cut loose.
All right.
Get into a serious jam with Natalie Cole and the fabulous Pointer Sisters on the next Big Break. Kick it as Natalie welcomes the hottest new talent from around the country, giving it all they've got for a chance at $100,000 and their big break.
Sunday at 11:30 on Channel 8.
On the next Golden Girls.
My little girl is going to have a baby by artificial insemination.
It's the Birds and Bees with a twist.
There's a sperm bank not far from here.
No kidding, do they have a drive-up window?
Family Matters on the next Golden Girls.
Monday at 7:30 on Channel 8.
I suppose we might say old man Winter fell asleep today.
Yes.
Will he stay there, though? Probably not.
Well, for one more day. Looks like he has another nap in store for tomorrow afternoon. Still some mild weather and also abundant amounts of sunshine. Good evening, everybody. Today we saw a lot of sunshine, 52 degrees. That's 1 degree above the old record low set back in 1875. Down goes the old record high. Joe likes it. Jerry likes it. Chris likes it. 43 degrees. Who are those people? Those are the people who are behind the scenes here at Channel 8. But let's go on with the weather. Clear skies, wind southwest at 8 miles per hour, and the barometer is slowly starting to drop off. Would you like to hear a few names? No, I didn't think so. Let's have another round of mild weather. That's what we'll have for tomorrow. Our weather watchers phoning in with mild temperatures. 43 in Aranaquoit, 42 in Sodus, 45 in Ithaca, and a cool, rather cool 39 degrees in Buffalo. And yes, it has been a cool week up until this weekend. We started out the week, temperatures at 40, down into the 30s, and then eventually a high of only 22 degrees during the day on Thursday. But then it started to warm up as we head into the weekend. 46 degrees yesterday, and today 52 degrees and more mild weather for tomorrow as high pressure continues to dominate across the eastern seaboard. Circulation around this high is bringing up a strong southwesterly wind and also now a little bit of moisture. So we'll see a little bit more in the way of cloudiness for tomorrow afternoon, but still a Jim Dandy of an afternoon. That moisture is triggering off just a few light showers across the Central Plains and the Midwest. There's the high pressure anchored over the eastern seaboard. A little bit of Gulf moisture now feeding into the Midwest. So we could pick up just a brief shower during the day on Tuesday. But other than that, just some mild, beautiful weather for this time of the year. Scattered showers, thunderstorms across Florida. Also some more showers across northern California into Washington and Oregon. And here's that little bit of moisture across the southern plain states working its way into the Midwest. In the Middle East, still some clouds and a few showers developing across Iraq and also northern Saudi Arabia. But still, this is the rainy period. They're expecting about another 6 to 8 more weeks of this type of weather. And then after that, they'll start to dry out and warm up and turn back into a desert environment. Gulf air tomorrow afternoon for us. Once again, a mild southwesterly wind, a few more clouds. Warm front well to our north, but it will start to sag down into our area, it looks like, by Wednesday and start to cool us off. Afternoon highs tomorrow once again into the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s back down to Florida. Here comes that cool shot of air, 40s and 30s. Looks like that's in store for Rochester by Wednesday, Thursday, and again on Friday. The forecast then for tonight, clear skies, not as cool. Overnight low down to 35. That's 4 degrees above our normal high on this date. And then for your Monday, going back to work, mostly sunny skies. You'll enjoy it, at least the day. Continued mild and the weather, windy conditions, 55 degrees. The outlook as we head into this upcoming week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we do start to cool down back down to 38 degrees. And the possibility of just a shower or two mixed in. Still very nice, few showers, and now you know all the names of everybody that works here.
Thank you, Glenn.
All right.
Eyewitness Sports coming up next for you. One of the Bills speaks out about being available in Plan B. And the Americks try to make it 2 straight against the Rangers.
Your children are growing up. They have hopes for the future. They have dreams. But do they have a chance? Only if they stay in school. It's just that simple and just that tough. Keep your children in school and there's nothing they can't do. Let them drop out and there's very little they can.
What if Live with Regis and Kathie Lee suddenly became
Live with Regis?
Just Imagine? Or what about Live with Kathie Lee?
Are you like real impressed?
It's just not a show without both of them. And coming up on the next Live, we'll meet TV tough guy MacGyver, played by actor Richard Dean Anderson. And we'll catch up with Rosemary Clooney, plus solutions to problem hair.
Live with Regis and Kathie Lee, Monday morning at 9 on Channel 8.
Life through the eyes of a young woman who knows how precious it really is.
I feel very lucky because I'm experiencing things that are here on this earth.
Kimberly Bergalis, a tragic victim of AIDS and an inspiring symbol of hope, takes the trip of a lifetime. A current affair special, The Fantastic Voyage.
A Current Affair, Monday at 7 on WROC Channel 8.
Just when you thought you'd seen all there was to see in fine furniture, Charlotte announces their all-new Clayton Marcus Gallery. Come see a complete store within a store and save 40% on custom-tailored sofas, love seats, chairs, and sleepers, along with reductions of 40% on all bedroom and dining room furniture by American Drew. Everything is quality crafted and sale priced during the grand opening of the Clayton Marcus Gallery at Charlotte Furniture and Appliance, 3200 Lake Avenue.
Wondering about the Amerks and how they did? We're about to find out.
They picked up right where they left off last night. Despite having three of their top guns, Ludzik, Malloy, and Biggs, sidelined due to suspensions, the Amerks proved that the show must go on. And it did, to the tune of 8-3 tonight. Let's head out to the big barn where the Amerks are down 1-0 against Binghamton. The Rangers made it 2-0 as Corey Millen with the putback. Dave Littman did not have a clue. It's 2-0. The Amerks got on the board later in the first. Jody Gage to Francois Gay, the wrist shot. It's 2-1. The Amerks trailed. In the second we go. It's 3-1 Rangers, but the Amerks came right back. Joel Savage in the crease right here. Slips in the P. The Amerks trail by 1. Later in the second, Rochester tied it as McCrory comes up and picks up the loose P here and lets her rip. We're tied at 3, and we move on to the fourth. Better yet, the third period. The Amerks went up as Gage on the breakaway, one-on-one, point blank right here. It's 5-3. The Amerks cruise to the easy victory. They travel to Maine on Wednesday. In the bigs, Buffalo and Edmonton. The Sabres are leading 1-0. Pierre Turgeon up to Alexander McGillney. The Sabres add to their lead. But Edmonton wasn't going to let this one slip away as Craig Simpson gets the centering pass right here in the crease off of his knees. It's 2-1 Buffalo. But Edmonton came storming back as Glenn Anderson comes up with a big blast right here, beating Darren Pupa as the Sabres lose a close one to Edmonton. Pittsburgh goes down by 3 to Boston. The Rangers and Hartford tie in overtime, and Winnipeg skated past the Rangers. In pro football tonight, the Buffalo Bills had 10 players down in Honolulu for the annual display of the NFL talent. That's the Pro Bowl. Everybody was expecting the AFC to walk away with it, but quite contraire, mon frere. It was a close one. We pick it up in the first half. Warren Moon at the helm here, connecting with Andre Reed on the crossing pattern. This 37-yard reception ended at the 30-yard line. Later, with the NFC leading 7-3, Bruce Smith comes up big. The big man sacks Randall Cunningham, his second of 3 on the day. But Cunningham did shake loose here, avoiding the pressure, motioning to his man to go long, young man. He finds his man downfield, who laterals right here to Ernest Biner. He's gone. But the speedster Albert Lewis catches him and pushes him out of bounds. Later, Thermal would erupt and explode. Here, he gets the call around the left end here. The all-purpose back looked good. Around the left end, a 20-yard gain. This set up Jim Kelly, who connects with Andre Reed. Check out the catch here. One-handed. Right there, it's 14-13. Late in the game with time running out, the AFC is down. Jim Kelly goes to Ernest Givens, touchdown. This made it 23-21. Morton Anderson had one last chance to win it for the NFC, but his 47-yard field goal was blocked. Jim Kelly walks home with MVP honors. He threw for 17 points in the fourth quarter to lead them to that victory. And the who's who in the sporting world will grace our city for the Rochester Press Radio Club's 42nd annual Day of Champions, which is scheduled for tomorrow. And one name that is on the menu is Bills receiver James Lofton. The 34-year-old wideout just signed a new contract with the Bills, but he was left unprotected on the Plan B.
It must be an age cutoff there for the Plan B list, because if you're over any age, then you have to go on it automatically. But, you know, I want to come back. I was on the unprotected list last year. So I think I'm one of the few players in the league who's made it 3 straight years in a row.
Now moving to hoops, the 8th-ranked SU Orangemen got a little breathing room in the Big East. The Georgetown Hoyas, who are 1 game behind SU, dropped 2 back this afternoon after losing to DePaul, and of all places, at home at the Cap Center. The Hoyas jumped out early to Kembe Mutombo. His presence was known early. Later on the break, Charles Harris comes up to Mutombo here. The rim rocker right here. Georgetown was up 30-24 at the half, but in the second stanza, it was a different picture as Hoya paranoia turned into Blue Demon domination. David Booth cans the J right here. It's a tie ball game. The Hoyas lost their composure after that point as Charles Harris comes up here and sends this past Western Union a telegraph. It's picked off. Belvon Foster slams it home. as well as the Hoyas, as the Blue Demons demoralized the Hoyas at home and beat Georgetown for the first time in 5 meetings. The running Rebels all over Rutgers. The Buckeyes down Purdue. Ohio State is 18-1 right now. Indiana got past Minnesota. Kentucky did in Georgia. The Yellow Jackets stung Chicago as Chris Fite had 20 points, and the Lady Yellow Jackets also were victorious. In the bigs, the LA Lakers hosted the Chicago Bulls this afternoon, and with the likes of Air Jordan and Magic, we all knew that this would be a barn burner. In the first quarter we go, where LA gears up. Hugo, that's Vlade Divac with a beautiful no-look pass to AC Green, the layup, and Jerry, you even could have hit in that one. Here, Scottie Pippen for the slam jam there, but LA was at home, so they weren't going to let this one get away. No stuff was taken as James Worthy right there in the paint. But just before the half, Air exploded right here, picks off the inbounds play and slams it right before the buzzer. Into the second half we go, a scary moment for LA. Magic goes down hard. Diagnosis, a concussion. He was knocked out unconscious for several minutes. He did leave on his own accord, however. The Lakers did hold on as James Worthy turns around here with a jumper as LA holds on for the victory. In the Motor City, the Pistons and Phoenix, Detroit on the move here. Mark Aguirre, the one-hander, and banks are open on Sunday. But the doors would soon close as Dan Marley comes up here with the theft, and he goes coast to coast with the steal, the payoff, the slam jam. The Suns were just getting hot as Jeff Hornacek pops the three-pointer right there. Phoenix was close to blowing this one out, folks, but the microwave did heat up just a little bit here as Vinnie Johnson comes up with the sweet J to keep Detroit close, but the end was near, folks, as the X-Man comes up and makes an excellent move to the basket. Count the fouls, 20 points as the Suns turn up the heat. Down the stretch, Tom Chambers throws down 2 of his 20 points as the Suns go on to scorch the Pistons and drop Detroit for the second time at home in their last 22 games. Washington lost to Boston. Philly loses in double overtime to Minnesota. Golden State is up over Houston in the fourth, and Milwaukee over Charlotte. And on the links today, at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, it was Paul Azinger Day as a 10-year veteran took care of business this afternoon. So let's head out to the links. We're on 12 here. John Cook from about 40 feet away. This putt looks so sweet. It just ends up just a couple of inches away. Later, Paul Azinger with the approach on the day, 185 yards away. It's straight as an arrow. Lands about 1 foot from the pin after taking a couple of bounces. And then on 14, soap star Jack Wagner shows why he's just not a heartthrob in the soap operas. Check out the birdie there. You got to love it, folks. On 18, Wagner again with the 15-footer. It breaks to the right here. He just misses it, but Wagner would come up and tap it in to finish at minus 32 to win the amateur division. Again, Paul Azinger finished a bogey-free 67-14 under for 274 on the day, and that's Looking Sports.
A lot of pretty shots there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daryl. And when Eyewitness News continues, we're going to check out people checking out careers. First, though, if you had them, there they are, tonight's winning lottery numbers.
The 4077 have some surprises up their sleeves.
Just checking for a hand buzzer.
All this week on MASH, pranks for the memories.
Weekdays at 5.
How do I know where to get my brakes done right?
Come to Midas. There's a lot of value in our $59 or $69 basic brake service. And you get something else. Peace of mind. Knowing you get a thorough inspection by Midas-trained experts and a written estimate up front. Knowing every brake shoe and pad is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. And knowing the job will be done right. That's why more people come to us for brakes, knowing that nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
We live in an increasingly global marketplace, and Rochester contributes greatly to balancing the trade deficit by exporting more than $7 billion in products annually. Exports, especially in high technology, are vital to our economy. Every time a Rochester-made product is bought overseas, some of those dollars come home to our community. Join us in WROC in saluting our exporters, because making it in America starts here.
Now there's a great new pizza with all the pepperoni you want and more.
Yeah, pepperoni!
It's the new Pizza Hut Pepperoni Supreme. With tons of pepperoni to keep you satisfied. Plus all the mushrooms, onions, and green peppers to make it supreme. And now for limited time, get a medium pepperoni supreme for only $6.99. It's the new pan pizza you've always wanted, and now it's all yours.
Finally, many adults thinking about going to college on a part-time basis attended a very special career day held at RIT, an opportunity to learn about the courses and the programs and all the degree options offered by RIT that can be completed as a part-time student. And many got the information they wanted. That's going to do it for this weekend. Thanks for being with us. Brett Davidson with our first news tomorrow at 6:55. Have a good week ahead.